Hey folks, man, this is Monk, and we are back with another episode of Classes of Cinematics, and I'm joined as always with my co-host. We got Bobby Blockbuster.
Yo!
Yeah, folks, man, and today we got a heavy hitter, man. This is one of my favorite films of all time, and we're going to be talking about Alien from 1979, and this is directed by Ridley Scott, and came out June 22nd, 1979, and in this story, in deep space, the crew of the commercial starship Nostromo is awakened from their cryo-sleep capsules halfway through their journey home to investigate a distress call from an alien vessel. The terror begins when the crew encounters a nest of eggs within the alien ship. An organism from inside an egg leaps out and attaches itself to one of the crew, causing him to fall into a coma and leading the crew into a fight for their lives. Starring in this film, we've got Sigourney Weaver. We've also got Tom Skerritt, Veronica Cartwright, John Hurt, Ian Holm, Harry Dean Stanton. We also got Bolaji Badejo in this. The late, great Yaphet Kotto, Helen Horton, Roy Scammell, and John Finch. This is a pretty small crew in this film because it kind of takes place inside one location, man. So let's get into it, man.
I mean, first and foremost, I love the pacing of this film. It's slow, it's methodical, and the way the story is delivered in this fashion, like, it gives the viewer time to really digest what's happening and what we're seeing. Like, we feel like we're one of the crew. The crew don't know what's going on. They're figuring it out as they go, and we are right there with them, just like, what in the hell? But then it's constant tension building.
Yeah.
Right out the gate, like you get all of these tense moments from the distress signal moving all the way forward. And I think that is a beautiful way to present this story, because it really just enhances all of the key elements that make this story one of a kind.
Yeah. The tension is definitely great in this. I mean, from the moment where they encounter that first alien being, and like you said, we don't know we're encountering it as they know. So it's not the case where we know more than the characters on screen. We're reacting with them. We're like, what the hell is this? What's going on? And it's kind of a cool story too, because I think what's dope about it does have this subtle commentary on big industry. You know, corporate greed, you know what I'm saying? And expendable workers, you know what I'm saying? So it's kind of cool that we've got all this wrapped up in something, you know, that came out, you know, so long ago. But it's also ahead of the genre, you know what I'm saying? On many levels, man. Not just horror, but just great filmmaking in general, man. This story is just amazing. Man.
And also, you know, it's also a lot of the oomph that was put into presenting this film before it was released. Like, dude, tell me this tagline that was at the bottom of the poster. In space, no one can hear you scream. Yeah. I mean, come on, dog. Like, what? Of course they can't. Like, I don't want to be out there now. You know what I'm saying? Especially not with this shit going on.
Yeah, that is cool, man. That is cool, man. Yeah, great production, everything, man. So let's get into these characters, man.
Yeah.
I guess we could talk about, you know, our main character that the story is told through is going to be Ellen Ripley, played by Sigourney Weaver. And I'm not sure of her film career before this, but I know this film definitely helped make her into a superstar, you know. And in this, she's actually just a regular crew member. We don't even know that she's the main character in this film. Right. That's what's dope, man. Like everyone's kind of presented, you know, in this manner, but later on, when things, you know, hit the fan, that's when we kind of see that she steps up into this leadership role. But I like the fact that her character in the very beginning, when they encounter the alien and the face hugger, and there's even a talk before they even go to this thing. It's like, yo, we got to do this, but it's like law. It's a rule. If you get a distress signal, you have to respond. And you know, she's taking every precaution, man. When the face hugger gets on my man. And she's like, bro.
She calls quarantine code. Yeah. She said, no, the doors are locked. Quarantine code.
Like it's crazy because, like, if they would have listened to her at that point, I think this movie's over. You know what I'm saying?
It is. but that's too practical because she has sense and sensibility. But, you know, this is also a testament of the time. Not only are they refusing to listen to her because she's the youngest crew member, but also because she's a woman. And it's showing that they're sidestepping her for all of the wrong reasons. And which is also, you know, as the movie progresses, it's gratifying to see that she's the one who stands above the pack. You know what I'm saying? For all of those reasons. It sounds
cold, but like, and I get that factor too. This is their boy. You can't just leave him. You know what I'm saying? I understand too that pushback, but protocols exist for a reason, man. Sometimes it's cool, cruel, and it's cold, but they're there for a reason to protect the greater. You know what I'm saying? Good. So So yeah, we might have to lose. What was his name? The actor.
That was John Hurt. That was Kane.
Yeah. We might have to lose Kane, but we're trying to save all of mankind.
That's it. You know what I'm saying? was a small violin, right?
Yeah.
But and just speaking of practicality, that's why I really love Parker, who is Yaphet Kotto, and Brett, who is like his road dog, is Harry Dean Stanton, because the two of them, I mean, instantly, right when they wake up out of hypersleep, Brett looks at Parker, he's like, yo, and Parker's like, oh yeah, so by the way, let's talk about this bonus situation, because we noticed that we're not getting paid like everybody else. You know what I'm saying? We want the same kind of bonuses. And then as this distress signal comes in, well, Parker's like, hey, bro, this is not in our contract. We are not a rescue ship. We are not a rescue vessel. We are commercial towing. They're towing it's like 200 tons of
200 million
tons of some kind of space ore. I mean, they're pretty much like the equivalent of a train that moves charcoal.
Yeah, it's like a mining facility.
Yeah. I just think that it's really messed up to have that in the fine print of a contract. That, oh, by the way, if you're in this particular part of the galaxy and you catch a distress signal, no matter if it's from another human or other extraterrestrial life, you got to go investigate. Yeah. Like, they don't seem like they're built for that. And I like that Parker keeps reminding them of that fact.
I think these are kind of going into like sea rules and ocean. Like if you see a ship in distress, you should render aid. It's kind of like a good thing. But I get Parker's point of view too. It's like, we're not getting no extra money for this. And he's like, if we're going to do this, can we get bumped up? Can we get full shares instead of this partial stuff that me and Brett have been making so far?
And the thing is, too, is that, once they land, before Dallas, Kane, and Lambert go to investigate on foot, Ripley finds a way, or Mother, who's like the computer, I guess the motherboard or whatever, finds out that this is not a SOS signal, it's a warning to stay away. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, they
kind of find that out later, though. That's kind of sucks, though.
Yeah, I mean, hey.
After they've already did,
But they're all mic'd up. That's when you go, hey, come back. There's a warning. Just come back.
See, here's the other incentive, though, because they also get salvage rights to this. So that kind of messed up in a way. It perks up Parker's, own personal greed a little bit. It's like, oh, so we find, we get salvage rights, meaning we get a percentage of whatever we find here, and there's a possibility that they could find something. But it's also like, it's crazy, man.
90% of people in the world can tell you that greed will get them late.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
It's hard to say what you would do, man. But anyway, stuff hits the fan, man. I do like also shout out to Ash in here too, man. I think he's an interesting character because he is an android. Like it's. I mean, the sci-fi stuff in here is so cool to me though, because the fact that we do have androids, pretty much an artificial crew member, artificial life, but I don't think they know at first. It's something that the company's been doing for a while, but without their knowledge, because they don't know he's a android until he malfunctions later.
That's what I'm saying. Crazy. Which is wild, and I'm with you. He is cool until he's not. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like once Ripley goes into the computer and actually sees like. This is where it's wild because he's an android, like he doesn't have no emotional compass whatsoever, and like he was told by, I guess, the powers that be, he's like, yeah, man, rule or operative number one is to bring back this new organism, and everyone else is expendable, and they've already been dying. It's like, come on, they're trying to survive, and he's like, nah, only thing we got to do now is just make sure we get the ship back to Earth with this creature on it.
Because I'm guessing that he's giving updates to the company while he's out here, and he tells them that they did find this thing, and the company's suddenly like, well, dang, let's get this. We can take this back and work on it. It'll be real valuable to us. To the point too, like you said, the crew's expendable, and Ash programming goes from helping the crew to getting this organism, even at the expense of the crew, man. Which is interesting dynamics, man.
It is, but then it also, like, for him to supposedly be like an emotionless android, he looked like he was enjoying trying to take Ripley out. Like, that was not okay. Like, he seemed.
I don't know how that looks though. Like he didn't have no emotion on his face though.
I mean,
he was just doing what he had to do.
I don't know, man. It was just awkward. It was very awkward.
It's a wild looking scene.
It is
definitely one of the creepier moments. But like I said, like that it gets crazy to me, man, because
But
you know, you got the threat of the alien at one point, and then you've also got this threat of this android too that's on your ship. So it's like there's a lot of stuff going on, man, at the same time.
And speaking of like creepiness, okay, like so John Hurt plays Kane, and I mean, I'm sure he's like a really good actor if given like a lot of dialogue, but there's two things I remember about his character in this. First, he gets his face hugged. Then he gets his chest exploded. It's terrible. I would not want to be that guy.
It's still one of the greatest moments because I told you earlier, like I went and saw this in the theater. They did an anniversary screening of it, and I'm watching this thing, and it's so wild, man, because you know, you see the face hugger. They try to get rid of the face hugger. They try to cut it off, man. This thing bleeds acid. It almost drips through so many layers of the ship.
You can tell they never lose sight of their job because they're like, oh, it's going to eat through the hull. Yeah. We got to stop it.
And like, we'll get into the production and the size of this stuff later. But it's crazy to me because right after that, you know, he's chilling. He's waking up, getting off the top. You feeling, bud? It's like, hell, I'm alright, a little sore.
I'm hungry.
And it goes right into that. And because I've seen this film before, that scene always trips me out. How fast it goes from there to there. And I was just rewatching this, I'm like, oh my God, it's coming. And like you said, he doesn't have a lot of screen time. But dude, this is probably the most excellent death. One of the greatest.
It's one of the most impactful scenes in cinema history. Dude, it's jaw dropping. Like, this is one of those ones where I'm watching, even though I know what happens. As soon as he starts choking, I hold my breath on accident. I'm like, dude, it's about to get real bad for you, Kane. It's about to get real bad.
And I heard some crazy stuff about the making of this. They said that you know, the cast knew what was going to happen, but they didn't know how it was going to happen. They had no rehearsals. So when Veronica Cartwright heard, the blood gets sore, that is a real. That's real.
When she's like, bro. Oh my God. Yeah, because you know, I was gonna say that. You know, we're gonna get into the effects, but since we already glazing over this, they said that that John Hurt was the only one that knew that the animatronic torso that he was hooked up to, it was a air pressurized hydraulic, and it was filled with actual animal blood and guts. None of the other crew members knew that. So when it exploded, it stunk to high hell, and I mean, and it just splattered all over him, and hitting Cartwright in the face. I mean, you see that it's genuine shock, and like they said, like they had to, like after they cut filming, they had to come and like reassure her, like, yo, you're all right. And then they said it messed with Yaphet Kotto so much he didn't talk to his wife for a week. He was like, no,
and actually they had to do like at least 2 takes. Because the first take, it didn't burst all the way through. It was just, but they kept that in there, and it kind of adds to it because it's like it's pushing, and you see and then it's like boom. And then what the craziest part to me is the little version of it, and like I love the little silver teeth.
He still got the grills, though.
You're like, yo, what the? This is crazy.
And you know, I mean, while we're on it, I mean, I do love Tom Skerritt as Dallas, the leader, because I mean, he's doing everything that a leader could, should, would do in these kind of situations. He's trying to take charge when, you know, he's following all of the orders, giving instruction, giving confidence to the crew that everything's going to be okay. But, you know, and then also he's the one, he's like front and center when it's time to go investigate the planet. Yeah. And he's like, yo, you know, I'm going out there with my team. And, you know, and it's wild because like, you know, he seems calm and poised all the way up until he sees that big alien. He's looking, he's like, yo, like, he's not even worried about the fact that this alien pilot is like ginormous, but he's like, yo, something bust through his chest.
Yeah, that's like crazy. What, like something,
what the hell is going on here?
That is a crazy moment. When you do see that big room open up and you're just looking at they call it the space jockey. It looks like it's looking through a big scope, man. That is just a crazy scene right there.
Yes, it is.
Yeah. He like, especially, you know, after the chest burster scene and they go on the hunt for this thing, you know, he does, you know, come up with a plan and, you know, some orders. Because it's still a relatively small crew, man. Like what I can imagine this, the size of this ship, dude, imagine a few football fields back to back. Considering this crew is so small, it's a lot of ground and area to cover looking for this thing that's probably the size of one of them. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it's
maybe a 7-footer, if that.
Yeah.
Maybe. But you know, and what really intensifies this whole story and what makes us really feel bad for these characters is this isolation factor. They can't go nowhere but this
coming,
ship.
bro.
You know what I'm saying? Like they were on an inhabited planet, you know, which they didn't want to stay there long because of everything they've seen. They go back to what they deem as safe, which is this ship back in space.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
And help is like a while away. Like the plan here isn't to the plan even before this happened was to go into hypersleep, and it's going to take months to even get to the frontier to get to the frontier where they would be at a base and unload the load that they have, you know. So
they get woke up halfway. So I mean, if everything would have went right, they'd have been hyper sleeping for another few months.
Yeah, dude.
Easy.
Yeah. But it's crazy, man. So but yeah. After that, you know, shout out to Bolaji Badeo, who does play the xenomorph.
Yes.
We never see his human face, but like you said, it's a 7 foot tall creature, and it's crazy to me is the facehugger scene, right? And maybe less than a day later, I believe, what's my man's name? Brett. Encounters him first, dude. Yeah. And this thing is already in
a fraction of time from when he busts out the chest to seamlessly maybe a few hours.
Maybe like I would say at least 24 hours. Maybe
a day. We'll give him a day grace. That thing went from being the size a little taller than this cup to being taller than me, bro. Full grown.
And didn't eat nothing, as far as I know. Like it just grew like that big.
Because all the crew was still there, and Jones the cat was still alive. What else is on the ship,
bro? So when we see this thing like first emerge, it's kind of cool too because he's just his head is down, and then it's like. Yeah. You see the full size, and my man Brett is just like, whoa.
Oh, shit. Like, his little cattle prod thing he had, it's like, that ain't gonna cut it, dog. That ain't gonna cut it. And then, then it's just failed plan after failed plan. Like I said, testament to Dallas. He was like, yeah, man, it's hiding in the air ducts. We can try and kind of trap it and then blow it out the airlock. Cool. But then gets him too. He, yet again, take one for the team. He goes out with the flamethrower. He's like, yeah, I'm gonna get this motherfucker. And now I really like this scene because what it does is we never really see the alien until it's go time. The alien is portrayed as like a little dot. It's like almost like watching Pac-Man on Atari, like boop, 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 like hunting, he's collecting pellets and stuff. And then it's just the whole crew is like, oh, he's coming, Dallas. Look around you. He's right there. He's on top of you, dog. And then you just see him, and it's like, wow, man. And that's the thing. That's what makes this xenomorph so scary to me is also the fact that we don't get nothing more than a glimpse. It's just the insinuations of what he can do. And we're just seeing him in like these little spot checks, but we're seeing enough.
We're getting a little bit more each time.
But we're seeing that he is, he is a well-equipped killing machine.
Yeah, we get a little bit more into the finale where it's not many left, man. I think it's Ripley
Parker, and
Ripley Parker
or Lambert.
Yeah, and Lambert, and it's crazy because after this point, man, they've had the confrontation with Ash.
Because Yafet had to hit a home run with his head, dog.
This is one of the creepiest things, the design of him, because his innards have this weird, I don't know, little pieces and
he looks like he bleeds cottage cheese.
Yeah, and like this milky fluid inside.
It's so gross.
Man, it's so nasty.
I bet he stank.
It's so nasty looking and scary. So we got Weaver, Ripley, Parker, and Lambert, holding it down, and basically they're about to just blow the whole lab up and escape in the shuttle. So
because before they thought the shuttle was not equipped to carry all of them, but they're like, man, fuck it, we're gonna take our chances with that. Get the rations, get as much fuel as we can, and we're gonna make it shake.
And so then they're just trying to close off these corridors and flush the alien down to a certain point, and that goes wrong, man, because the alien finally kind of reveals himself in his full glory. I love that shot where it's at first it's coming after Lambert, and then Parker steps in, man. It's so crazy. Grabs Parker and just hits him with the little mouth thing.
The mouth inside the mouth.
Wow. Dude, it's like his head is just like playing his head.
Yes.
Dude, it's crazy. I try to freeze frame that shot, but it's so fast. But
dude,
I feel like you see more when you go at full speed. But then, oh man, this is the craziest thing. And then was wild after that. It takes Parker out. Parker slumped in the corner. And then it starts running toward Lambert in slow-mo. You kind of see the body like yo, she's just paralyzed.
She's paralyzed from fear, and then you see like the tail. It's like, dude, come on, man.
It's amazing.
Not cool, man.
But it's still like the imagery, the way it's done, the music, the way
everything.
It's beautiful, dude. This movie is so damn good.
And yes. And then like the way this thing, like, even though he is a big menacing creature, he creeps through the shadows. He's always like hiding in the mist. And then like just because
it's crazy because like the design of the ship, he almost matches it the way he looks.
Does.
Like, just with the blackness and the industrial look, and it just could just be.
And because the ship is like slowly getting just beat down, it's like the lights flicker a lot, so it gives like a strobe effect, which is just like really adds to the intensity of this menacing creature just coming through. It's like, you know, I don't know if I'd want to see him like outside of the scene in the steam in like in a clear light. Like
it's crazy.
I'd probably faint.
And it's one of the coolest moments, man. Ripley, you know, eventually makes it to the sets off the self-destruct sequence, and she actually gets in the shuttle and she thinks she's safe. Meanwhile, the alien is in there with her, chilling the whole time.
Yes. But you know, this is the thing that, like, you know, as watching my rewatches this time, like I was like, you know, I kind of something sparked in my mind, and maybe everyone else knew this and it just went over my head, but when the alien is in the shuttle, he seems like he's kind of like on the last legs of his lifespan. Like, because maybe they grow at such a rapid rate, maybe they start to die. Because he seems like he was almost hiding. Like when the hand came out,
maybe he was about to just
like hibernate,
rest, or because remember going to Aliens. When they kept running up on these, it's almost like they would awaken and coming out of the walls. It's like they were like you said, they would just curl up and wait for some action to come around. And it looks like that's what he's about to do.
And also maybe his belly was full. I mean, like he did take a couple other people out, but he just seemed like he didn't have a whole lot of fight in him. And he seemed kind of like confused, like whereas he was able to stalk and maim the other characters, like Ripley was able to kind of like just kind of creep off and like get into the spacesuit and everything. And he seemed not to have a lot of fight left in him. Maybe he was tired. Who knows?
Yeah, I don't know, bro.
but then all that changed because once his ass got blowed out the airlock, my man, he had all the fight in the world. He wasn't trying to get blowed out the door. He started trying to crawl up into with the rocket engine thing. And
I think that heightens that scene too, because like he's there and we're like, damn, what is she gonna do? And he's right there. You know what I'm saying?
And then it's just like, it's like, dude, you just can't shake this thing. You can't shake it. Oh, and shout out to the the self-destruct system of the Nostromo, because I've never seen a ship blow up 3 times. That thing blew up, not just for the ship, but I think it was set to blow up anything around it in the surrounding area, just in case there was
I'd imagine in this world there is the issue of corporations trying to protect their investments, and that includes their technology. So we don't want no one to get none of this. Like we don't want anything to be.
I mean, that thing blew up sideways and vertical, then sideways again.
Yeah, but it's cool, man. Like all that culminates. But another thing I do want to mention with this film is just the production design and the environments that they've been able to build here. Like this ship still looks amazing, man. When you're watching this thing, the cinematography, the set designs, everything just has that futuristic sleek look. The only thing I think they might have missed is maybe the instruments and the panel displays, but it's hard to predict that, man. That's what happens when you're dealing with a film this long ago. Like even old Star Trek stuff doesn't quite get it right, yo. But I overlooked that, man. But everything else in this thing is beautiful. Like even when they first see the ship that has the alien eggs, that outer view, and you're just looking at this weird looking. Crazy,
I read that the blue lights that are flashing, the production company, they borrowed those lights from the band The Who, because they were using those lights. They were practicing in a soundstage next to this when it was being filmed. So that was really cool. And I really like the look of, I mean, because we get, like you said, we get 3 set pieces. We get majority of the Nostromo, then we get the planetoid, I think is what they call it, then we get the ship. But that planet, man, it just looks so dark and desolate, like just like somewhere rainy. You just don't want to be.
Oh yeah, just like wind is howling,
so grim and
cold,
and it kind of makes you wonder, like, is this a place that maybe the xenomorphs already ran through it? You know what I'm saying?
That could be a thing.
Because I mean, think of it like this. Okay, the pilot of that ship had his chest bust. Imagine that motherfucker was probably 8 feet tall. So imagine what that xenomorph looked like.
Yeah, or maybe this was a place to try to contain them for some reason. Because think about it, that laser light in there, like there's a lot of stuff built around this facility. And the eggs are down there. I wonder if it raises so many great questions. And like I said, this thing was so well. It's made. It's inspired comic books, other films. other
crossover franchises,
bigger stories, man.
With
they
the
kind of get into
Predator and
stuff.
Alien and everything.
Yeah, man.
You know what I'm saying?
It's
And then,
beautiful,
man, yes, it is. Action figures out the wazoo. But for me personally, I mean, like I said, I love the way the Xenomorph looks. But man, nothing is more scary to me than the face hugger. It just looks like a big spider with a tail, and then the way it latches onto your face, like the iron claw. Like this, and it wraps around your head and chokes you out.
Look creepy, man.
Oh my, yes, and this is like just a big, huge one. I mean, I can never unsee that. Like every time I watch it, I'm like, and then they can crawl fast and they jump. It's like, oh man, you know,
this is a cool effect too, man. Like even when we see them trying to take the facehugger off and it just gets tighter around his neck, man. This these subtle details I think that went into making the design of this and the creature designs that it's crazy, man. You rarely see stuff, you know, with this amount of detail in it, you know, today, you know.
And then also like the fact that, you know, they found a way to creatively make it keep you alive, like it like thrusts a tube down and it almost breathes for you like a breathing apparatus. It's just so crazy. But then that Xenomorph when it's full grown is just
it's pretty cool, man. They tapped into H.R. Geiger, I think he's a Switzerland artist, and just all of this stuff is coming out of his mind. You know, the design of even the ship, you know, the Xenomorph itself. There's so much cool stuff that you know, dude's mind is crazy, man. Even right now, I'm looking at the inside of the egg scene, yo. It's just nuts, man. It's
just so well thought out. And then you know what really also just makes all of these creatures and everything pop is the way this film was shot. I mean, it's very, you know, it really enhances this condensed feeling, like the way the camera's just kind of moving around. It feels like there's not a lot of wiggle room. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't feel like they're on a big sound stage with all the big equipment. It's almost like it was like shot with a handheld or something. You know what I mean?
They don't waste a lot of, you know, there's not much extra shots. Even though this thing is probably about almost 2 hours, it's not much wasted, you know, on the screen. You know what I'm saying?
No, and then, you know, like I said, I mean, even though the pacing is slow and methodical, it still moves at a rapid rate. Like there is no point, like you said, there's no wasted screen time. Like you're just on the edge of your seat the whole time. And I think because of that tense feeling that you get while watching this, is just like, as soon as it's over, it's like, man, I don't know if I need to start this from the beginning or go watch some cartoons or something at a palate cleanser. You know I mean?
It's great, man. Also, one thing I think is missing from a lot of films these days is a great score, and I think that's what ties everything into this thing, man. It makes those key moments just more terrifying, man. Even the face hugger, that little stab we get, when it jumps up, is crazy. Like the shot where he's coming after what's her name? After Lambert, and it's just got this orchestral drone that's going. Man, this thing is beautiful, dude.
And you know what hit me too? And I don't know if this would count as the score or just a sound effect, but when the chest buster busts out, you hear that heartbeat in the background the whole time. That was just kind of like
that's a little bit added to.
You know what I'm saying? I was just like, wow, man. It's just
the sound design is great in this.
Yes,
man. Like I said, there's moments of this that, especially, I would say that final sequence when we're dealing with the countdown to the self-destruct, that last push to before she gets in the shuttle, it's just tension, and the music is doing a lot of the heavy lifting, man. And it's just a great use of sound and instrumentation, man. Who did the score for this thing, man? Because that's kind of it's just so well done.
Let's see.
Let me find out real quick. Alien. Boom. Jerry Goldsmith.
There you go.
Yeah,
well, he did his thing, and you know, and shout out to Derek Van Lit, because he's the one who did the cinematography. Because, like I said, between the way it was shot and that sound production, I mean, that's peanut butter and jelly right there. It's a perfect match, man.
Yeah, we do got a new Alien film that's coming out. I think that's due. What is that one called? Alien.
Is it Reverend?
Something like that. Hold up. Alien.
It's not Requiem. It's I know it starts with an R. I'm brain farting.
But that's coming out. Alien Romulus.
There you go.
That's coming out on August 16th. So we're going to see that soon, and I can't wait, dude. It looks like they're going for a combination of Alien and Aliens. Meaning there's more than one alien.
Yes.
But it looks like it's definitely leaning heavily into the horror aspect.
And they said it's directed by the guy that did Don't Breathe in the first reboot of Evil Dead. And what I like in the trailer, dude, it was a lot of face huggers. I mean, the thing was running through the swamp, and it looked a little bigger. So, yeah man,
I think this film is going to take place shortly after this film. You know, if we're thinking about the timeline into the timeline.
Well, that's good. That's good because, you know, I mean, all of these movies in this franchise, respectively, they're all creative and they all bring something to the table. The ones that kind of started to miss the mark for me was when they started doing the Prometheus stuff. Like,
I like the first Prometheus. I didn't like Covenant that much.
No, not at all.
But
not at
Prometheus was pretty cool with me.
No. And then also, I've read this thing, this article that Sigourney Weaver expressed interest in wanting to be a part of a fifth installment to her, because, you know, she's the only one that was in all of the Alien films from the original franchise. So with playing the same character too, and I mean, such a strong character arc for Ellen Ripley, man.
Yeah, we'll see what happens, man. But I think we can wrap this one up, man. This is one of my favorite all times, man. Definitely. So check it out, man. Rewatch it again, man. And we're gonna catch y'all next time. You can catch us at Classic Cinematics on Instagram. Catch me at Monkey Blood on Twitter and Instagram. And make sure you subscribe to the channel, follow us, turn on notifications, and tell your friends about us.
Yes. And this is Bobby Blockbuster. As always, you can catch me on the next show.
All right, y'all. We out of here.